There we are. Hello. I'm David Liberty, your host, and we'll be speaking with Shalaya Williams from the Umatilla tribe, and Will Penn from the Squamish, how do you say it?
Squaxin
Island.
Squaxin Island and Quileute tribes.
Squaxin Island, yes. Thank you for coming, Will and Shalaya.
Thanks for having us.
I really appreciate it. Shalaya and I are probably related because she's from the Umatilla. I know one of her granddaughters married my cousin, so we might be related that way.
We're all cousins.
Yes, we are. So thank you for visiting us tonight, and we'll be talking mostly about the Portland Canoe Family and what's been happening with them lately. There's so many events. They're a very busy group, and it will culminate in the summer trip that they'll make back to the Canoe Gathering, which is up in Canada this year. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on in the show. But first of all, I want to begin with my usual book review. Yes, you know that I read books all the time, and I especially like native authors. This one was co-authored by a guy called Lucullus McWhirter, and he interviewed this guy Yellow Wolf, who was a Nez Perce, a Nimipu, that made it to Canada after the surrender at Bear's Paw. So it was a first-person account of all the events that happened during the flight from the Willow Valley all the way to Canada. And I've read many accounts of this excursion, but this one is the best because he was there at the time, and the Lucullus was taking notes and reproducing as best he could all that was said to him. So one of the best parts of this book, which you all should read, is the story of how Yellow Wolf and his troop got back from Canada and snuck all the way back into Idaho, and they kind of split up. Some of them went to the Umatilla Reservation, and others went into Idaho with the Nez Perce, those that could get away with it. But one of the amazing incidents, when they were coming back from Canada, they came into this valley that had a little village in the bottom of the valley, and there was really no way they could skirt on either side without being discovered by the settlers in this valley. So one of the guys comes up from the back and says, I'll take care of this. And he lights his pipe and starts smoking his pipe. And pretty soon the whole valley fills with fog. And they are covered, the fog covers the bottom of the valley so they could skirt around above the fog through the valley to get by this village with the help of this magic man who could create fog and find a way for them to pass through this valley. So I just wanted to give you a taste of what this story is like. It is really an excellent first-person account of life back in the 1880s and what the tribe had to go through to try and get to Canada. Some of them succeeded, but it's probably the best account that I've read. I know that 2 books have come out recently talking about the flight of the Nez Perce, and it's just overdone, I think, because people think they've discovered new things, and maybe they have something new to say, but it's been overdone, and this is the best book if you want to learn about the flight. So there's our book review for the evening. Thank you for sitting through that, folks. We want to go to our main concern for the evening. Shalaya and Will are here tonight, and they are members of the Portland Canoe Family. Is that your official name now?
Portland All-Nations Canoe Family.
All-Nations Canoe Family.
Yes.
Do you know how many nations are a part of the Canoe Family?
Oh.
As many as there are members?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We come from different tribes. We are an urban, canoe family, so we thought, bringing us.
Oh, yeah, all nations.
And every time we went up there, they'd always call us, "Hey, Portland," so we were.
Yeah, you don't want to be called Portland. Jeez. Yeah. All nations is good. So, Will, you're a part of All-Nations Canoe Family as well.
Yes.
And tell us about your background, Will.
My background, I grew up on the Quiute Reservation, which became, everyone's watched those Twilight series, and it became...
Forks?
Yeah, Forks area, Forks La Push area.
Yeah.
Even though none of the filming was actually done up there, but if you read the books, it was all about La Push and
Just
Forks.
the opening scene or something was shot up there.
Yeah. But it was a beautiful place to grow up. I grew up on the river, Gilnetton, and the beach and the ocean was my front yard. So
The Hoe?
the Quiute River.
Quiute
Yeah,
River?
just north of the Hoe. By beach, it was 14 miles to go to the mouth of the Hoe, but by car it was like 47. So.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks for being here, Will. And Shalaya, we need a little background information about you. You're Umatilla, but you probably got some other mix in there, right?
Little mixture. Yeah. So, my dad is Pima from down in Arizona, the Gila River Reservation. So I'm half Pima, and my mother's side is my grandma's actually full-blood Cayuse, and my grandpa was Palouse, and I want to say a little bit Nimi-Poo. So yeah, and then out comes me.
Yeah, way to go. And you're here tonight.
Yes.
Well, your grandma Tessie, we should mention the tribe up there on the Confederated Tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. They have some official chiefs. But if your grandma Tessie were to go to those chiefs and tell them to do something, they would have to do it. So they're chiefs, but Tessie has more power than the chiefs do.
I guess so. Everybody listens to my grandma. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. She's one of the last elders, of a certain generation, fluent, in the language, brought up in a certain era. Yeah. So she's a gem for sure.
Yeah, she really is. And she always seems to lift everybody's spirits. She's joyful and fun. And how is her health, by the way?
She's good. She's still going to those sports games. She loves. If we could be anywhere, and she's just like, oh, there's a game on. The game could be 5 hours from now, but she has to post up just to watch this one game. So she follows all sports. The biggest sports fan I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's good though.
Well, is she still working in the language program?
I don't think she's ever worked in a language program.
No?
When she was in really good health and she could drive herself around, she worked at Tumustlet Cultural Institute for a while, and after a while, she's just hanging out, going to all the great grandkids graduations and sports games.
Yeah. Wow. She must have a lot of them.
She does.
Yeah, we really should mention Tessie Williams because, as far as I'm concerned, she's a national treasure.
I think she totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very blessed to have her here still.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I'm just lucky that I've gotten to know her over the years, and it's been very fun to know Tessie.
Hi, Grandma.
Yeah, we hope you see the show eventually. So, Shalaya, did you grow up in Pendleton?
I did. Thorn Hollow area, definitely.
Yeah.
Down Thorn Hollow, the missionary. And then as soon as high school came around, I moved to Salem, to Chemawa, and went 4 years there.
Oh.
So.
And did you go to college?
I did. I went to Haskell Nations University.
Haskell.
Yeah. Did a bit of traveling, kind of enjoyed my youth era. So,
good.
Yeah.
Did you get a degree?
I did. Tribal management.
Tribal management. Well, and you came back to Portland after that? Or
no, I went
move around
straight home. I had every intention to come back to Portland, and I got caught up in coaching basketball, high school basketball. and we got a state ring that first year, so it's been like,
Oh.
you know, almost like an addiction. Like,
Yeah, that'll keep you going.
Yeah,
winning
you
state.
just want to keep playing that game because it's so emotional.
Oh, yeah.
That's where a lot of my passion is coaching, you know, younger youth.
Very
And so I was there home for about at least 3 years, I want to say, before I randomly I think it was like within a month time span, I was like, I'm going to move to Portland, and just literally put my 2 weeks in, and I knew I wanted to start growing here, you know, because I'm really adventurous, and I like to get involved with
Lots of things going on.
yeah, lots of things going on, and thankfully, you know, my friends helped me out as soon as I got here, so they really helped me, you know, plant my seed and
Kept you off the street,
kept me yes, they
more or less.
yeah, so
Good. So you are professional. You work at a job.
I do. I work part-time at Nike, the Nike company store, and I work part-time with the Northwest Portland Area Indian Health Board.
Oh,
So
good.
kind of juggle those two around. But they they go back to back, so it's really nice.
My dad used to work for them.
Yeah.
Part of the non-smoking program. He went out to all the reservations and tried to get them to set up a non-smoking areas or get programs going to stop smoking and stuff like that. So it was a pretty good little project that he had, and the money ran out and his job ran out.
So he worked with Kelly then?
I'm not sure who he worked with exactly. It was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, Will, do you work for?
I work for the Native Wellness Institute, but a long time ago I used to be a health director for my tribe at the Koyut tribe, and then a couple other tribes, the Muckleshoot tribe, and that's when I first got to meet Shalaya's grandma Tessie, and that was for an honoring for 25 years of community health representative training services that her grandma got.
Yeah.
Along with some other elders from all over the nation.
in
That's
Oklahoma?
right.
Or no, that wasn't Oklahoma.
No.
Oh, I remember seeing Jolene there. I just happened to be up in Kansas, and then had to travel down and pick up my grandma, like represent my grandma, you know, for the award, because we were, since I was one of the first poster kids with her, I got to go down and receive that award.
Great.
So yeah, sorry to.
No, that's fine. But you know, she was saying that she's traveled. She's one of the few people that I know that she goes anywhere, and she's like family. When she moved in with us, it was automatically, it was like family. But she spent time in Hawaii for like, what, 6 months over there? And imagine whoever she was with over there, it was like family, hanging out with family with Shalaya, and she got to go to Australia, and then she just spent all over the place.
So, Will, do you have a degree?
No. My career path, I went into the military after high school, and I was a corpsman for 10 years in the military. And I always say, I don't say I've been in the service for 10 years. I always say I've been in for 9 years, 9 months, and 27 days. And everyone goes, well, how come it's not 10 years? Well, it's not 10 years.
No,
it's 9
that's not
months.
10 years.
It's 9 years, 9 months, and 27 days. But
Well,
no,
and when did you serve?
From 81 to 91, so I got to be in during the whole Noriega. He just recently passed away.
In Nicaragua.
So I was down in Panama for all all that stuff that was going on down there.
Oh yeah, Panama.
It was third one's in, second to last one's out. So, but they had to get us out because if you stayed there longer than a year, then you had to cut orders, and that would have took a lot more time to get out. But so I was down there for.
Yeah. Well, you served out of country then.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Got to serve 5 years in Hawaii, and that was amazing being over there, and got to hang out with a lot of the local people over there, learn how to scuba dive, and wasn't very good at surfing, so I did the next best thing, which was I dubbed boogie boarding as the next best thing to surfing, and then scuba diving is the closest thing to flying, and so
Yeah.
not Superman, I can't fly, so I scuba dive.
Still today?
No, I haven't
Not so
gone
much.
scuba diving in a while, but I want to get back into it though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. Well, You know, we want our viewers to get background information about you guys
Uh-huh.
before we really dig into the Canoe family.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of asked you about your background. And the Canoe family has, what's their next event now that's coming up, Shalaya? Don't we have something pretty soon?
Yes, we do. We have a couple events because our actual launch day is end of July for us. We're trying to get together and fundraise as much as we can. So we have a ice cream social that's going to be hosted by the Columbia River Keepers, and it's from 2 to 4. So everybody can come in. And
What day?
on do I have that day on there? I don't have the date on there.
That's okay. Check your Facebook page, and the information will be there, right?
The information will be
Yes,
there. Our
okay.
other one we're going to have is actual yard sale on July 8th and 9th, and I do have the days for those. So the ice cream social the ice cream social is next weekend.
Oh,
Yes, it's next Saturday. It's going to be at
21st?
Yep, it's at a Lutheran church, and you can look on the Portland All-Nations Canoe Family, for more information. We'll have a lot of flyers on there, and then our next events will be a yard sale on July 8th and 9th, and we'll have the exact address listed on there. And then I'm setting up, bringing in my friend Akatia Red Elk. You know Akatia, don't you?
Well, one of the best jingle dress dancers in the world.
Right? World champion, yeah.
Yeah, world champion over several times.
Yeah, she's one of my good friends.
I would love to have her on the show.
You would love to have her? She would love to be on the show.
Yeah, I've heard that she would.
Yeah.
But we just haven't been able to get connected to get it worked out.
Yeah.
So help me with that, Shalaya.
I will.
Please. Thank you. We'd love to have her on.
I will, certainly.
So
So yeah, she's going to come down. She booked out a day on July the 12th, and she's actually known for booty yoga now. So she flies all over the country.
What is booty yoga?
Right? That's what she's trying to do. So I honestly can't talk for her, and maybe that's what the show could be about.
Yeah.
She could come and talk about her
Sure,
story.
we will enlighten our viewers, so you'll all know.
Yeah, well,
I have no idea.
Not a clue either.
I know, but obviously it changed her life. She's doing really well. I mean, she's always done well, but she's just a lot more, just loves this particular practice. And it's getting her around and meeting new people. But she will be down on July 12th, and I'm going to have 2 different sessions for her. One's going to be at NAYA, more in the evening.
The Native American Youth and Family Center.
Yep. And then the other one will be at my friend's CrossFit gym, Sweat 360 in Hillsborough. So anybody can join both of those. And then again, the information will be on Facebook. And then the other one I'm going to do is I'm going to do a silent auction. And so me and my friends are going to gather, and I already have some donations coming in, and we're going to be raffling off different items. And that night, we'll have volunteers come in. There are going to be DJs, break dancers. I'm trying to get my friend Shoni Schimmel in, if she can answer her phone.
Oh yeah, that'll bring a lot of people.
Yeah, so she can
See her
come.
bring a basket, let her shoot some hoop.
Yeah. Just to kind of bring more people in, So so I have all and that one's going to be on the 13th. But yeah.
But you haven't heard back if she's going to be here.
She better. I used to babysit her. I used to babysit her and her siblings, and
She better, yeah. Did you ever coach her?
yes, that was my first coaching job ever. She was, I want to say, a 4th grader playing with the 5th grade boys, and at the time
Beating them, probably.
she was. I know her mom and dad, well, we all did, but I know they were concentrating on their oldest as well, because he played in 7th grade at the time. So they'd go and they'd coach him, and they're like, oh, can you help take care of that practice? Well, we got to be up here. So yeah.
Good. Fun. That's neat to be a part of her career.
Yeah.
Up and coming. Well, she's with the WNBA now on hiatus for the season.
Yep, she's taking a break.
Yeah. So we'll probably see her. And she's with the New York Liberty, by the way. excellent name for a team.
Yes.
I want to get one of their jackets. Christmas list, everybody out there. Yeah, I want one Liberty jacket. Well, and you need the money for the canoe journey that's coming up. And is it like how long of a canoe journey is it?
Well, I think Will can take those actual days. Ours will be, we're going to be pulling for a whole week, and then we're going to go into protocol. But I believe he would have more information just on the journey.
A lot of the tribes are going to be doing different things. A lot of the tribes will start off in their home areas, like our tribe is going to start off in our home areas, and then paddle up to Elwha, cross there over into Canada by Port Angeles, and then cross into either Songhees or Sook over there on the other side, and
on the mainland.
On Vancouver Island.
The other side of it.
Yeah. Then some of the tribes are going to be going up and then going up by Lummi, and then continuing on the mainland side, and then crossing at Nanaimo. And so a lot of the tribes, because of the commitment, the time commitment and stuff like that, and what we know, we all have bills to pay nowadays. So a lot of the tribes are going to be doing the same thing that the Portland All-Nations Canoe Family is going to be doing, is they're going to be trailering to Nanaimo and then putting in at Nanaimo, and then going to the destination at Campbell River, and then staying for protocol.
So y'all have to get across the border first.
Well, and for the people with, there's a lot of people with border crossing issues, and those people were the ones that will be in the canoe, and they just paddle a canoe across.
Excellent idea. And no need for a passport then.
No need for passports, and then they can. Yeah. There's a lot of people that have family that it's, we didn't draw the lines in. Our predecessors came, or our colonizers came, and they drew all these lines and put all these people and all these restrictions everywhere. And then due to issues, life issues, people get in trouble here and there, but they have a lot of family members over in Canada that they want to go see, and they say, well, how do I? So I just say, hop on a canoe and volunteer to pull the canoe across, and then that way you get to go see family members. And then when they come back, you do the same thing. You volunteer to bring the canoe back, because a lot of people will trailer their canoes over, but a lot of people will, because it's so expensive to trailer put your canoe and your trailer on a ferry, then because you're paid by the foot, charged by the foot. So they'll paddle it back across instead of paying to ferry it. So, and
the Portland Canoe Family, they're not starting here in Portland and going up from Portland. Where are they putting in? Do you know?
I think the plan, is putting in at Nanaimo, which is 5 days from the destination point, and then normally the host tribe will put on festivities and host and do protocol for on average 5 days.
Yeah, it's a big event.
A huge event. We started off, the canoe journey started off in 1989, and with 4 canoes, 20 tribes represented from Washington and Canada, and now there's over 104 canoes, and there's even one of the canoes are from New York on the East Coast side of the United States.
Wow.
We have California tribes, and Oregon. I think there's 5 out of the 9 Oregon tribes that participate in the canoe journeys as well.
There's people from Hawaii.
Oh, there's people from Hawaii. There's people from New Zealand that fly over, participate in it.
Are they using their outriggers, or do they?
There's plans to get their outriggers over here, and then there's sometimes there's a contingency of Japanese people who want to bring over the dragon boats and participate with the dragon boats. And then, but they want to also get the canoes to go to Japan and have the big international race in Japan too. But that's been in the talks for quite a while now too.
Sure, so as long as they'll sponsor you guys and pay you to come on over, no problem.
That would be
fly your boat to Japan.
You have to can't call your canoe a boat, otherwise you have to go hop in the water. So that's one of the rules for being on a canoe journey. If you call your canoe the B word, then you have to get dumped.
You have to get dumped. I gotta get dumped once. One time in the last meeting.
Well, one of my favorite studies I ever did in college was navigational techniques of the ancient Polynesians. And it was so fascinating. Mostly they relied on the stars. So they would go out at night to navigate when things they needed to know. But other signs, they would use the wave action. And they could tell where the main waves are coming from the main ocean and what was bouncing off of different islands around them. The waves that were bouncing off the islands, they could tell which wave was which and which one to follow. Birds go out in the morning from the islands. They come in at night, a real reliable indicator. But in one case, there was this place where you turn left at the great white shark that lives in this part of the ocean. And that's how they, for years it was turn left at the great white shark to get to that island. So it's funny, all the different keys and clues and cues that they used to navigate in a giant ocean in a little tiny boat and get to an island that's 100 miles away accurately. It's just amazing those guys could do back then.
Yeah, we see something similar in New Zealand.
Yeah, we got to meet Papa Hector, and he has a Maori school and that's what their school does. They navigate by the stars, and they take trips all over the place, and that's how their total navigation is just all by the stars and everything. So that's
well, it's glad to hear that they're still continuing that tradition. So you guys, you don't navigate by the stars, do you?
No, we have
the river.
We have a lot of support boats that go with us, and
cell phones.
We got everybody's got GPS on their phones nowadays, but it's safety first when you're out there on the water, and there's been especially at the crossings, some of the big yachters they put a what is it called when you like somebody will get on the radio and he'll offer a reward for anybody that can flip a canoe over, and it's crazy because then you're putting lives at risk when you do that kind of stuff. But we lost on one of the Canadian chiefs lost one of their chiefs from was doing a crossing, but somebody on one of those big yachts said, hey, let's try to tip these canoers over, and that's what happened to their canoe, and they flipped it, and then that person ended up drowning, and there was another one that was a near drowning. But it's always safety first, and now we have, when we do those kind of crossings, we always have a Coast Guard escort.
Good.
Then they have their little Ski-Doo things all over the place, and they're monitoring radios, and they keeping the people out. It's just like when a killer whale pod comes in, they're always monitored, but they always have a big entourage of followers that go with them. So it's pretty neat. So
can you see why I brought this guy?
Yeah, good stuff, Will.
Yes, I have always had questions, and he's always willing to answer them.
Yeah.
Because I'm very new to the canoe family lifestyle.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and most Portland people are. So it's great that it started up and it's strong and it's been going, and another year, another canoe gathering. So, and now, does the gathering have a formal name, or what do you call it? Just canoe gathering?
I don't know what it's travel journeys, and you can go on there each year. It's hosted by a new tribe, but it's you can go on Facebook or else just go on YouTube and click on travel journeys, and it'll have all kinds of information on there on. And what I really like about it is me being away from home. I get to click on YouTube, and then just click on the. Like when my tribe was up, I can just click on them and just sing along with the songs, and that's how I stay connected to my tribe and stay connected to. I call it feeding my Indians, so that's how I feed my Indians when
Yeah.
my Indian's hungry.
Great.
So
Yeah. YouTube.
yeah.
Wonderful tool. Well, let's see. What haven't we talked about? Oh, we want to mention the paddles that you brought, Will.
Oh, yeah. Before
Here,
we
let
mention the paddle, I just wanted to mention the Portland, the other urban sites like the Seattle area and the Tacoma area. They both have canoes. That's all-nation canoes as well. So Portland, it's not a unique thing to Portland, and it's a matter of pride for the people to come out and jump in, because it's just like here. They're urban Indians, but they want to participate in the culture program, and this is a great link to be able to do it, and then be connected with the first medicine, the water. So
Yeah, our tribe used to, I was fairly young at the time, but Otway Edith McLeod, I recall people telling stories that she's always wanted to bring the canoe back to the tribe, so she had a canoe family for a while, but as soon as she passed, I guess that went with her. But that would be nice to bring it back to the Umatilla tribe as well.
Yeah. And some of our old dugout canoes.
Yeah.
They weren't those fancy ocean canoes. They were pretty simple, but efficient. So who made this beautiful paddle?
This is a paddle that I made a while back, and my son did the artwork on it, and he was working with Andrea Wilbur up in the Squaxin and Skoke area, and I'm very proud of this. This is on yellow cedar. The yellow cedar is from Alaska, and he's got a natural talent, and he's pretty good at what he does, and I just wish he would stay with his artwork.
Now, what is that shell, the green?
That's abalone inlays.
Abalone?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That is nice. Can you explain why paddles go up? Paddles up?
Paddles up? Well, we believe everything has a spirit, and that with the spirit of the cedar, it's part of a living thing, and our spirit's always with us. And the tree gave its life a long time ago for us to use it for many things, for homes, for wood, for clothing, for a lot of things. So and to keep those traditions alive, when you have them on display at your house, it's either up like this, or it's permissible to be on its side like this one. I display this one like this because of the artwork on it.
Yeah.
But if it didn't, it would be paddles up, because it's disrespectful to go into a house and you see all your paddles upside down, because they want to be right side up, and they're upside down when you're using them in the water, and those kind of things. But if you're not using them, then it paddles up, and that's a good slogan for a T-shirt. I was just thinking of that.
Yeah, it would
Another
be.
fundraiser.
Excellent.
I have this sweatshirt I have on was from one of our paddles up to, and I think this one is just south of Campbell River, and my cousin Joe did the design on the front, and my nephew did the design on the back, and but that's a fundraising tool as well. A lot of people will do T-shirts or old sweatshirts, and that's another good fundraising. So and tribes all over the place are doing fundraisers, because it's
Yeah.
time to
Gotta
get
have money.
back on the water. Yep.
Everything costs money.
And with this other paddle, this one is a Grand Ronde paddle, and with
For a small person?
this is a replica.
Somebody really short.
Yep. But back long time ago, our paddles were if you're a war canoe, if you're a warring tribe, your paddle is your first weapon as well. So that's why it has a point on there too. So when you got to shore, that's.
Yeah.
And a long time ago, the paddles were made out of like this one is cedar, but a long time ago they were made out of like yew wood and those kind of things. And people go, well, ain't those heavy? But you know, you got to look at our people a long time and go, you know, that's how they got around, and that's all that they did. They didn't get in the car and drive like we do. You know, they're
Pretty good shape for rowing.
Yeah. And you know, so those U-wood paddles, you know, they dry out just like everything else does, and they get a little bit lighter, but they're a lot stronger too.
Yeah.
So, and this one, they're designed like this so they could use them as a tool to dig, for digging roots and for digging clams and stuff. So that's part of the design is on that.
Yeah. And you made that one?
No, that was gifted to Jolene.
Well, do you guys foresee a time in the future when you might host a gathering?
I think the closest one coming is the Grand Ronde. Yeah.
They're actually talking about it. So they're just looking for a location and a commitment from the tribe, because it's when you have 104 canoes and with the ground crews and everything, you're looking at probably over like when our tribe hosted, there was like 10,000 people, and it's growing. It grows. It kind of fluctuates each year, but you know, it mostly grows. So. And
that's a lot of mouths to feed.
That's a lot of mouths to feed. It is.
A lot of salmon.
The host tribe normally feeds 2 meals a day, so that's a lot of mouths to feed for 2 meals a day for 5 days.
10,000.
And you're hungry when you get off of there.
That's 100,000 meals.
That's 100. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's quite an undertaking for a tribe to make that commitment and host.
Yeah, you go broke.
And when we went to Bella Bella, they did it. They asked the tribes to co-host, and I think that might be a thing that's going to be going on in the future too, with not just the Bella Bella crew, but it's I think a lot of the other tribes will like that idea, because it's not such a burden for one person or one tribe to host for that long. So,
geez, they might go in debt for years trying to host a big gathering like that.
And the canoe journey has been going on for so long, and now it's like we've gone to Quinault twice. We've gone like either the next year or the year after that, we're going to be going back to Puyallup, and this will be their second time hosting. So,
how many times has your tribe hosted?
Once so far.
Once so far.
But you know, like Bella Bella is a very small community up in northwest Canada, and the Quiute tribe back in '97 when my first canoe journey. We started up at Gold River, which is the northern end of Vancouver Island, and went to the destination. Final destination was La Push, and that was my first canoe journey, and that was the year they have it's just like the Olympics for the natives. I forgot what that's called. But that was hosted in
Indigenous
Canada.
Games?
Yeah, the Indigenous Games. Yes. And at that time, that was hosted over in Victoria, so we got to be part of that on our way coming from Campbell River or coming from Gold River. We got to be part of that into the to the arena in Victoria, so that was really, really cool. And we had Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They had, we call them Boy Scout canoes, and but we had probably like 24 of those that traveled with us, but they didn't go all the way to La Push. They stopped there in Victoria. So
yeah, I've got a Boy Scout canoe. That's my canoe. 16-footer, but it's a good big canoe.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it. Get my grandsons out in it. They like to go canoeing, but their mom is paranoid that we're going to tip it over and we're all going to.
As long as everybody knows how to swim and they got their life jackets.
Oh yeah,
on,
life jackets gotta have them.
And it's like that saying, you know, if you're gonna have it in the canoe, you might as well have it on, because it doesn't do you any good if you're out of the canoe and it's not on you. So
that's right.
And it also provides great back support as you're out there pulling in the water too. So.
Now, for you guys, when you're in training or your practice sessions, do you ever tip it over on purpose And ride it again?
Yeah.
It's actually a
boy.
requirement. So
Yeah, I think Luke, our skipper Lucas, was trying to do one, like somewhere in a cold day. He's like, "Oh, we're having tipping practice," and we're like, "It's like 30 degrees outside. It's freezing." And we got out there, and it was having to be windy. And I remember the waves at the thing was just. I was like, "Is he serious?"
Whoa.
I don't know that, but we're gonna probably having tipping practice soon.
Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
some of the activities at the final destination, they'll have different style of canoe races, but some of them will be it'll be a timed rollover exercise to see who could rewrite it, get it bailed out, and get it moving again.
Yeah.
And I
that's a
think
good
when
competition.
Grand Ron did theirs, I think they were at a really good time. So.
All right. Well, what are some of the other events that go on like that during the gathering, Will?
For the hosting, it depends on the host tribe if they're going to do protocol. When they do protocol, that's like each canoe family will go up and do their presentation, do their gifts, or else just gift the gift the host tribe, and then they can gift like certain individuals along the way that help them out and that kind of stuff. Also, just give all their gifts to the host tribe so the host tribe can hand it out all at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And but those that's what because after we get there, that's what happens during the 5 days.
There's a lot of giving
A lot
that
of
goes on. Clearly,
a lot of giving.
the host tribe gives.
The host
People
tribe
who
gives.
show up give.
Yep.
Everybody's giving the whole
yes.
time.
Yes,
And-
very giving people. We're very giving
Yeah.
people, definitely.
It's great. It reflects our culture.
To me, it's very spiritual. My very first time I was out on the canoe, once we got away from the land and everything, to me it just like I just went back to like this is must have been what it was like for my ancestors.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was just
Same
like
feeling.
bawling. It was like crazy.
Well, I get that same feeling when I'm on the scaffold fishing at night. During the day, there's people.
Oh,
and there's
yeah.
things going, but at night, it's quiet. It's just me and the pole and the scaffold catching fish. That's when you go back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice that we can still carry on those old traditions and keep them going, and even to share it with other tribes. And I really appreciate what the Canoe Family's doing here in Portland. Now, one thing we should mention is the importance of water to Indian people, which comes up almost every show. But really, because the water it carries you with the canoe. So the water, as you people know, and I've mentioned before, it is the first law of our people, and it is sacred, and we must have cold, clean, pure water to survive, and all our other friends and animals and living beings need water to survive. So clearly, you can't live without water, and we need to do what we can to protect clean water at every avenue that you can find to work for water. One way that they're destroying water now is through fracking, and I've mentioned that before. When you use water in the fracking process, it kills the water. They bring it back up and put it in a settling pond, and it sits there until it all evaporates. But as Standing Rock has shown us, Indian people have a love for water, a need for water. All humanity, we're representing humanity when we say that water needs to be protected, and we need it for our survival. So any other additions to that?
I think, water's always been, part of our tradition, for sure. And, we drink water before every meal and after. It wasn't really until I went international that it really hit me that I live probably in the best area, in the world.
Yeah.
I flew into Australia, and first thing, it starts raining, and it hasn't rained in like months and months, and all these animals were looking for just a tiny bit of water, anything. And any type of water that they did have, it was, I guess they're known for finding different species that were created in this water, because it's just so polluted. I know it was pretty sad. So it wasn't until then that I really truly got to grasp it. I love rain. I love it when it rains, because that's a blessing for us, and to be able to drink the water, it's amazing. So
Yes, and not only before every meal, first thing in the morning, the first thing that touches my lips is water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important for your health as well. We're made up of water, a large portion of our bodies. So we need to emphasize again how important it is to protect our water and to keep it clean, and to keep oil pipelines away from the river as much as possible. Hey, we have about 15 minutes left in the show. So, Shalaya, could you tell us a little about your regalia? Because I know a lot of people don't know what the name of this dress is.
Yeah, right now this is just your contemporary wing dress. So naturally it would be more of a buckskin, but since we're more in the contemporary days, this is something we'd wear at the longhouse, or funerals, name givings, anything like that. As long as you have this wing dress on, you're good. And then these otters, I think I've had these since I was a kid. I remember because I used to drag, kind of like they were really too long for me, and I've had them, for over 20 years. So, and then these are I don't know where I got these. Again, everything I've had for a very long time. My grandma's always given me, my belts, my beaded. You can't see it right now, but her mom beaded this belt buckle in the back area. So there's I have a couple of heirlooms that I have kept away. That
I have a little belt purse like yours,
mm-hmm.
with really tiny beads in it, and just that big, but the tiny beads, it must have taken a long time to make.
Yeah.
Do you do any beading?
I do. Not right now, but I can. Let me put it that way.
Well, now this is not beaded, right? It's
no, it's just
something?
it's definitely woven. It's a flat, more like a flat style. I can do flat bags and round baskets, but I can't do basket hats quite yet. I would love to have a new basket hat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. I'm glad to hear that you're a weaver, a basket maker.
Yeah.
And a hat. The old traditional hats are really cool. When I was a little kid, hardly anybody wore hats back then. They came back, and now you see them all over Indian country in the Columbia Basin.
Columbia Basin Plateau.
Yeah, it was an old. All the women wore those basket hats,
Mm-hmm.
and now you've got modern artists like Toma Villa, who's been on our show, who makes those cedar top hat, or what, derbies? No, what do you call it? The style. He's got I can't remember the style hat. It's a modern style hat made from cedar. So it's really funny to see the two together, the old cedar weaving with the modern hat.
Is it like a baseball cap or round?
Like a top hat, like the old President Lincoln used to carry?
No, it's got a little
like a pipe
crease
hat?
in the top,
Oh,
and
okay,
a little
just like
fold, a little bill around it.
Oh.
I should know the name of that hat.
Like a derby or whatever they call them?
A derby? Yeah, kind of a derby. But you guys, Toma Villa is a great artist, and well, we should have him back on the show again. He was fun to have on the show when we had him here. Well, Shalaya, do you do any other artwork, native art? Did you make the dress, for instance?
Did I make this dress? No, this was actually my niece's. The dresses I have, I guess I could have worn, but they're too dark. They're green and black, so I try to get more neutral color.
Yeah, it's great.
But no, my aunt taught me how to make wing dresses for sure. It's something that, you know, even as a kid growing up, we'd always go out to Indian Lake and, you know, and I just remember camping out there like almost all summer practically. It felt like all summer, but all of us kids they'd not make us, but they'd teach us, you know, how to do certain things. And I remember just the campfire going, and that's when I had my first cup of coffee. I was like 8 or something.
Oh
7 or
boy,
8.
coffee. Ew.
Campfire coffee.
Like a grown-up.
Yeah, that was a huge deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were the good times, you know, because my grandma definitely did raise me, and her and my grandpa tried to teach us, me and my brothers, as much as they could.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah, great. Well, for those of you who don't know, Indian Lake is on the south end of our reservation. It was land that we'd lost and regained, which was kind of nice because during the allotment era, and they gave us, each member got a certain amount of property, but whatever was left over at the end was sold on the open market. So there was some land at the south end that I believe it was Forest Service land that we got back as part of our reservation again, and so we developed it and built a dam and put a lake, and it's beautiful up there in the Blue Mountains. If you want to get up there to Indian Lake, you go past Pilot Rock and head up Birch Creek and
Catch catfish. Is catfish, is that what's in there? I believe it's. I think they have fishing derbies, and I think
fishing
they go
derby,
for
yeah.
fishing derbies.
Yeah, when I got divorced, I actually moved in to a site on Indian Lake and lived up there for about 6 weeks.
Nice.
Trying to get my head together on my own, built my own teepee, gathered all my supplies from the other sites, you know, string, firewood. I found a mattress, springs, bed springs, and had quite a house when I was up there. So Indian Lake has a lot of special meaning to me. One of my favorite memories was one time watching a sunset, and I heard this little rustle behind me, a tiny little rustle. I didn't know, what is that noise? And I got a little closer. It was behind me. I could hear something. And I looked down between my legs, and here came a snake between my feet. It's going through my feet and right out into the lake. Just didn't even know I was there, but I heard it and saw it.
Nice.
And that was a fun experience to come close to nature like that. Have a snake go right between your legs.
I would probably jump. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So-
definitely growing up was really good. And the whole reason I joined this canoe family, you know, I've always tried to, you know, stay in touch, you know, as much as I can with this culture in general. But I'm a huge dragon boater. I love dragon boats.
So were you on a team?
Yes.
How'd you do?
This year.
Yeah, this year.
So I guess I could talk about it now.
Oh, when did you win? Tell us about that.
No, this year was actually pretty good. We got some new recruits on there. I boat with, they were the Crit Fic team, and I think the semi-final, the first day, the flag got wrapped around the pole, so our flag catcher couldn't get it out. They didn't, you know, give us any leeway, so they added 30 seconds onto our time, which put us in Division II. The second race, I think we went and lost by half a second.
Oh.
Half a second, so we got second, which put us, you know, into another good standing. So maybe the quarterfinals going into the finals, we lost by 2 seconds. But we should have been in the middle. So it was a tough season, but I think, you know, It's
Next
all
year.
it's all for fun. It's like, oh, we're just having fun, and then you have all these emotions in it. But I think a lot of my strength when I was on canoe journeys was because I paddle with the dragon boats. So when I got on that canoe, I was like, oh, this is really light, compared to that huge dragon weight.
Yeah,
Huge
they
dragon
are
weight pull.
huge.
One of the biggest things that I was so proud of the Portland All-Nations Canoe Family on their first canoe journey, as a person who's been on them before, you could always tell the newbies because they were always like 4 or 5 hours late than everybody else. But the Portland All-Nations Canoe Family, they were right on time, and I was just so proud of them on the paddles and the squall that they kept up with everybody else. They were one of the last ones in and didn't have to wait on them at all, and that was to me they did an outstanding job, and they were
Good.
no one had to wait on them, and so that was really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Because when you're cause they have a staging area before the final landing area, and you have to wait till that last canoe gets into the staging area before anyone else gets to start going in for the final protocol.
Oh, so they're holding you up. If
Yeah,
they don't go.
the newbies always hold us up, but it's not. I told them all that last year, and they did an outstanding job, and I think because of their practices and everything else that they did a really good job. So
Good. Well, we're glad to hear it. And you guys can check it out yourselves because we're running out of time here.
definitely come and check it out. It's an experience that you will never forget, and it's being on the water the way our ancestors used to be and traveling the same way. And the camaraderie, the friendships that you make along the camping sites is just amazing, and to get to witness everything that goes on during journeys is pretty phenomenal.
Well, thank you, Will. Thank you, Shalaya.
Thank you.
And do you want to go out? You want to give us a song to end on?
I'll do one of our newer paddle songs when I.
Okay, quick.
All right.
30 seconds.
All right. Wheeler. No. Wheeler. Hiya, hiya. Wheeler. Hiya, wheeler. Whoa. Wheeler. Hiya, wheeler. Is that about it?
All right, very good. Thank you, Will and Shalaya.
Thank you.
Thank you.